This is a HeadGum podcast.
Folks, it's time to get Quip. Me and Joe do it. It makes toothbrushing easy. Brushing your teeth, just like making love. It's the kind of thing you don't really know if you're doing it right till you start doing it right. And folks, Quip is brushing done right. It's the new electric toothbrush that packs just the right amount of vibrations into a slimmer design at a fraction of the cost of bulkier traditional electric brushes. It has guiding pulses that alert you when to switch sides, making brushing just the right amount of effortless. It's true, you really don't have to think about it. It lets you know when to move on to another quadrant of your mouth. Quip also comes with a mount that suctions right to your mirror and unsticks to use as a cover for hygienic travel anywhere, whether it's going in your gym bag or your carry-on. And because the thing that cleans your mouth should also be clean, Quip subscription plan or subquiption plan, surprised they didn't think of that, I'll have to let them know, refreshes your brush on a dentist-recommended schedule. They deliver new brush heads every 3 months for just $5, including free shipping worldwide. Quip's backed by a network of over 10,000 dental professionals, including dentists, hygienists, and dental students. Most toothbrushes don't get named one of Time Magazine's best inventions of the year, but Quip did. It's time to find out for yourself why. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/CU right now, you'll get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/CU. GETQUIP.com/CU. Folks, it's going to be love at first brush.
Hey, howdy, folks. You know what time it is. I don't need to fucking tell you what time it is. You know what fucking time it is. It's time for this fucking podcast to start. All right? We'll see you in hell.
Are you sons of bitches ready to laugh in a podcast setting?
You sons of bitch bastards.
Is that what you want?
Is that what you want, you
Is that
little
what you
fucks?
need?
Is that what
Honestly.
you need? Say it like James Gandolfini. Is that what you need?
Is that what you need, AJ? Carmella. Gabagoo. Folks, they have you breathing, of course.
Yeah.
Great loss. Great actor, great man. I love him. Folks, I wanted to talk to you about getting on with the show. And also, I'd like to... Boy, I can't even think of one. Let me think.
Oh, Jesus, Pat. Come on.
I wasn't ready.
You bail at that moment, you bail?
Well, I can't just start singing a song.
Maybe you have a little preparation. Well, we'll all wait, Pat, till you're ready.
And let's get on with the Joe.
Woohoo! Wow. Real fuck you to everybody.
Let's get on with the Joe. Anyway. Folks, today we're talking about Season 4 of Black Mirror. The Arcade Fire band sang about it, which I assume came before the show. Remember that song? Black Mirror.
Nah, I've always been touch and go with Arcade
Yeah.
Fire. Like, they're pretty good, but I don't go out of my way.
Not their best song. The chorus is Black Mirror. Really almost like a Dracula voice. It's stupid.
Now, Pinkstone, our dear friend, his interpretation of that title is, it's the Black Mirror. It's your phone. It's your computer screen. You know, when those are in rest mode, he goes, those are the Black Mirror. You can see your reflection in it. Like,
I could see
and
that.
It's about technology. I thought it was a pretty insightful take on it. And I
Well,
can't
hey.
imagine what the hell else it would mean.
Well,
Right?
it might have just come from that song. I don't know what that song's about. I just know that it goes, Black Mirror.
You know, they're one of these bands where I'm like, do we need you guys around again? Haven't you put out enough?
I really love their first album, and then I just kind of get further and further away with each additional album. But remember when I worked at Conan O'Brien? They were there, and they had not. Their album hadn't even come out yet. There was 15 people on stage. They were all wearing helmets, and they're playing each other's heads like drums. And I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah.
That energy seems to have gone away from Arcade Fire. That's not who they are anymore.
It always bothers me at the end of Return of the Jedi. The Ewoks do that with the Stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
the
like,
stupid part.
What is this? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
These were like the meanest people in the galaxy.
I thought it should have gone like from Little Mermaid.
I never saw the little
Under the Sea. Never saw Little Mermaid.
No, I've never seen most Disney films.
Okay. Lion King?
Never saw it.
Holy shit.
Literally could not have less interest in seeing a Disney animated film. The only ones I kind of
I'm not an
like,
animation guy either, but I've seen them all because I was a kid. I mean,
as a kid, I even knew I was too tough for that bullshit.
Yeah. I always preferred like, a PG comedy to like, some cartoon.
The only
shit.
ones I ever had interest in are the ones that have like witches in them, like Sleeping Beauty. You always look kind of cool to me, or Cinderella, or not Cinderella. Snow White has a witch.
Sure.
Those are the ones I kind of like, but anything else.
That old animation's kind of beautiful.
It's beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
I do want to get a Blu-ray of Fantasia for that reason.
I have Blu-ray of Fantasia that has remained unopened for years.
Is Fantasia 2000 any good?
It's on the same Blu-ray.
Yeah. Is it?
Let's get baked one day and watch them.
Maybe we do an episode. You guys want to hear that? No, seriously. Do you guys want to hear an episode of this podcast where we review Fantasia versus Fantasia 2000? I don't know.
Do we start a new podcast that's just Fantasia, minute by minute?
The Fantasia Boys? Oh, you know what?
We could call it Funtasia.
I have a great idea for an activity for us.
What?
And it might be something we add to the Patreon when we also add the buffet thing.
Which people have been asking about, by the way.
It's called, ready for this?
Yes.
It's called a Chiba. And it means we smoke Chiba, then go to Amoeba. That's just a great on a Saturday morning. Hey, you feel like an Achiba today?
But then, what do we record it live in store?
No.
In the loudest store in America?
I'm saying this is just for me and you to do. This
fun.
is just the name for our new activity.
Look, Achiba. It doesn't have to be Saturday. I'll tell you that much. We can do it whenever you want.
And I'm saying maybe if people sound excited about it, one of the things you could purchase is we smoke weed with you and walk around the movie section of Amoeba Records.
I'd be down with that.
And as I desperately try to not have a panic attack in public.
I must admit, a dream of mine is to do one of those "What's in Your Bags" for Amoeba.
Me too.
They just had Kumail and Emily do one. I would love to, and I'm never
dying.
be asked, but
I'm dying to do one. What do you got to do to get a fucking "What's in My Bag"? I mean, Jake Fogelnest did one. I'm more specials than that guy does.
Yes, that's true.
Why can't I get a fucking "What's in My Bag"? I mean, I know I'm not getting nominated for Oscars over here, but can I get a "What's in My Bag"?
Folks, so we're talking about the first 3 episodes of season 4 today. You get it. You understand. Joe, what's new in your life? What's happening?
Well, I was talking in the last episode how I went to that video game convention. I got some new video game stuff that I'm always excited to get. I love collecting these old video games. So I got a Sega CD-X, which is a hard console to come by, and especially for the price I got it for. And it's a combo of the Sega Genesis and the Sega CD. It's like a very compact version. So it's cool. I got Dragon's Lair for it. The game you thought they made up for Stranger Things. I got a port of that, and it is as fucking hard as I remembered it, as hard as they make it look in that TV show. It's so hard. But, I've been enjoying wine lately.
Right.
A crisp white, as we also talked about last time.
Yeah. What do you have that's new to talk about? Because people already heard the other stuff that you just said on the other podcast.
I mean, what is new? We recorded the other one an hour ago.
Joe, you don't have to tell them this.
Yeah, what doesn't matter? Nobody cares.
You got to act like it's a new day, a new dawn.
I watched the Raw 25th anniversary with our dear friend Vince Averill.
Okay.
I can talk about that during Pat's Movie Corner if you want.
Sure.
There's nothing new. It's the same old, working, living, hustling.
Yeah. You know, I was, here's how exciting my week's been. I'll tell you a story. I was driving down the street today. You know how in Indian food they have basmati rice or basamti rice?
I don't really eat Indian food, so no.
Whatever. Like most places, they have white rice, brown rice. In Indian restaurants, for some reason, they have basamti rice.
Now, what does that mean?
It's just a different grain of rice. It's like it's a little longer, I guess.
Okay.
So, for whatever reason, on my way over here, this happens to you once in a while in LA where like a giant truck will make a turn and you just sit there staring at it like there is no way this thing isn't going to hit me. It happens with buses all the time.
Right.
And they barely pull it out at the last second. So I'm sitting there staring at this truck, wincing like this truck is 100% going to hit me. And it rounds the corner barely, like our mirrors probably brushed up against each other, our black mirrors. And it starts past me, and I'm reading this sign, and I'm like, what is this giant fucking truck? And I watch as this thing goes down the road, and here's what it says on the side of it. Some company, Basamti rice. The longest Basamti rice in America.
Right.
They're advertising this on a giant truck that they have the longest grains of rice.
Right.
Who gives a fuck, Joe? Why would you advertise how long your rice is?
I think it's a phallic kind of thing.
Maybe.
It's a subconscious. Well, I don't know. I guess if you like that kind of rice and it's not long, you're like, this is bullshit.
But just eat more of it.
I mean,
right?
Look.
When you put rice in your mouth, you're not eating it grain by grain anyway.
There's a texture that the length can add to it, obviously, or affect. And I would say this. If I was eating white rice and they were cut in half, I'd be like, this is weird. I don't like this weird small rice. I need a big rice.
I didn't expect you to be on the side of this truck, but so be it.
I think it's a sexual thing. I really do. Everything in advertising is sex, and I think that's we got the longest rice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, a woman was pushing the rice into her body. And I ain't talking about the mouth. Folks, I also would like to say that I am doing my yearly cleanse. And I haven't eaten. A lot
of fun for all of us. This week's a lot of fun where Pat doesn't do anything except drink lemon juice with peppers in it.
Not peppers. It's cayenne pepper.
Yeah, and you can't eat anything, can't drink anything. Comes and hangs out for 30 minutes, leaves.
I've been entirely pleasant. I've been funny. I've been delightful.
I don't like that you're doing something good for yourself.
You do. You get mad. Joe gets mad if you're not going to have that 12th drink. He gets mad at you.
You're my partner. I don't know what else to do.
I know.
You are my partner. You're my hetero life mate, as they say in Jay and Silent Bob.
Verging on homo. Sometimes
verging.
Fully bleeding into homo. Emphasis on fully bleeding.
So when I can't meet you and sulk over a few drinks in this cesspool that we've chosen to take up our lives in, it's hard.
I understand that. It's also, I know you've never thought about this, hard for me to not eat or drink anything for a week.
It's not natural. You're not supposed to do this to yourself.
But I do it, and it's a nice little reset for me. And there comes a point always around the holidays where I'm like, just fucking give me that 18th drink. Let me get high at noon. Everything. And you don't care, and this gets me back on track. It's something I like to do. It helps me think clear and everything else.
Can I tell you that I do that same thing at the holidays? And you know what I do to fix it? I just stop eating whatever I feel like.
Sure.
And drinking the 18th drink. I'm just like, all right, if you cut these things out and live a little more responsibly, you'll lose weight, and you do.
Sure, but I do this.
All right. I'm just saying.
And different strokes, Gary Coleman.
Salads, and
I do.
Not on this, you don't.
No, I eat nothing.
You eat nothing.
That's right.
So what is in this concoction that you drink?
It is It's what you said. It's lemon juice and cayenne pepper.
That's it. Just those two things.
And then what you're supposed to do is maple syrup. I found that disgusting, like organic maple syrup. So I do one from a health place here in town. They do it up to like 30-day cleanses, which would kill people.
And you just drink it out of this bottle?
Drink it out of the bottle. And it's raw cane. So raw sugar cane is what makes you feel fulfilled, I guess. But it's not like sugar. It's the plant.
Okay. But the only juice is the lemon juice. It's not like diluted with water or anything.
I mix it with water. It tastes too bad to do it otherwise because the cayenne is nauseating. But then the part that often gets lost, truly the worst part, is that then you drink this all day. You drink a quart of it. Then at night you drink a laxative tea, Smooth Move tea.
It's called Smooth Move?
That's correct.
Jesus Christ.
Then you wake up sort of crampy and uncomfortable, and you drink a quart, 32 ounces, of lukewarm salt water, which is nearly impossible to get down. And then within minutes, you blast out your ass for about a half hour. On and off. Yeah. Today I was running some business calls while taking care of business. And then you feel great, light, better. I honestly haven't really felt hungry on it, but the weird thing is, and it's true and it's immediate, my girlfriend was watching TV upstairs last night. She watches it all the time when I'm downstairs and I can't hear it. I heard every word as clear as if I was on the couch. The smells are crazy. She was cooking dinner. I had to immediately come over here because it makes you, it's like raw. We talked about last week. You're ravenous and hungry. Right. And, smells, you're like the Fruit Loops, parrot, like it trails to your nose. Your senses are heightened. For some reason, I like to do it. It makes you, by the end of it, your face looks clear. Your hair's like fluffy. And then you're done with it. I like, because I was raised Catholic, I like torturing myself.
But then you just go back to your lifestyle the next day.
I don't know. I do a special green drink that gets you off it, chlorophyll.
Right.
And then I do a day or two of orange juice, and then I work into
just orange juice.
Right. Usually a day of orange juice, and then I ease into vegetables, fruits, salads, and back on. Then I'm just eating healthier again. I'm doing better.
All right. God bless. What does one of these cleanses cost? Can I ask on air, or is that tacky?
No, it's fine. I got the 7-day plus the green drink at the end.
Plus the Smooth Move.
It winds up, they give you the tea and the salt and all that.
Which is literally named after Smooth Move X-Lax, when you used to say that as a kid. Remember that?
Yeah, correct.
So they literally named it like the shit tea. They're telling you this is
it's unquestionably shit tea.
Yeah.
And then, I think it amounts to about $10 a day. If you went and bought lemons, cayenne pepper, and all this shit, which I used to do. I've been doing this for 10 years. You chop it all up, and then you're drinking seeds, and it makes it so much more miserable to do.
No, $10 a day.
I pay $10 a day.
You'd spend more than that if you were eating solids.
Of course you would.
I could tell you that much.
Yeah.
Well, Pat, if that didn't constitute for scary stuff, I don't know what does. Because that sounds fucking horrifying to me.
Yeah.
I have no stories like that. I've been out and about. I've been taking long walks. No strange encounters of any kind.
Sure.
No confrontations. Just nice leisurely days of light work and enjoying myself. I'm
happy to hear it. You get bored?
Yeah.
Yeah. Life. I've learned this now that I'm done with work. Life's very, very boring.
Yeah. I'll take 2-mile walks at a clip.
Sure.
Not even hikes, just walks through like the neighborhood just to see people and be around activity and listen to music, and I'll write while I'm walking and
do that all the time.
Yeah, it's like, but
in a way that's boring too.
I like it because you're moving around, but yeah, sure. I mean, it's not, it's not going to knock your socks off.
Yeah, I'm always
I got on my treadmill twice yesterday.
Okay.
Or my elliptical, excuse me.
Yeah.
because I was like, yeah, why not? I'm trying to build it up. I got this elliptical that's like, it's like a part elliptical, part like stair step thing.
Okay.
Sort of a hybrid. So it's really fucking hard to do because it's not long strokes with the feet. It's more like up down. So the first time I did it, I couldn't get through 10 minutes. The second time I did it, I could get to 10 minutes, but I had to take breaks. Finally did it where I was able to get through a full 10 minutes straight. So I just got to get that up to, if I can get that up to 20 minutes and do that every day, I'm fucking gold. I'm gold. But I got to get there though.
Folks, I apologize for the content of this this week's podcast.
What's wrong?
I mean, we're both talking about the healthy choices we're making in the new year. It's a mommy blog essentially.
What's wrong with mommies?
Or daddy blog.
There you go. There you go. What are you looking at your phone for?
I was getting ready to take us to Pat's Movie Corner.
All right, let's drift on over to the other side. How long I strive.
Separate my hands.
There is an album right there, Californication.
Yeah.
You want to talk about an album that when it came out, I loved it. And now when I hear any song from it, it disgusts me.
Even at the time,
cheesy.
Even at the time, I was a little anti-Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I was like, I gotta admit, these are some good songs. And the follow-up to it has some good songs, some pretty songs. But I feel the exact same way. Like you hear that, what's that song? It's like doodle 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 doodle. I'm like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah. Around the world.
Yeah. The last time I went to Coachella, they started up, and of course they were big there, and you know the bass thing starts up, and then I turned to Heather, I was like, let's get the fuck out of here, and we did. Went and saw New Order. There was like 40 people there. Yeah, one of the best shows I've ever seen.
You go to New Order. Yeah, but
New Order followed by Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm driving around the other day listening to Sirius XM, and I have, the grunge station, whatever it's called, Fortified or whatever. I don't know.
Sure.
Fucking whatever title it's got.
Right.
In Bloom or something. And then the song Californication comes on.
Yeah.
It's just so
that song is
dumb.
Terrible.
Californication.
Dream of California. He also is so crazily auto-tuned. He's beyond T-Pain. Like, them live, I've seen them a couple times. They toured with the Foo Fighters once or something. His voice is so horrible, and he doesn't play an instrument.
Yeah, no, he just sings
so
shittily.
What are you bringing?
The worst, there was a thing on Netflix for a while where you could see this tribute concert to Joey Ramone. No, to Johnny Ramone, excuse me. So there's all these bands came out and played Ramones covers. And all of them were like bands you'd hang your hat on, except the Red Hot Chili Peppers were there. And you could kind of, I got the feeling that everybody was like, what the fuck are these guys doing here? It's like if you're having like a comedy, like a basement comedy show and like John Mayer shows up. You're like, yeah, all right, buddy. But anyway.
Stole a tweet from me.
So I heard. So anyway, but they open with I Want to Be Sedated. And just picture this. It's Anthony Kiedis going, 24 hours ago,
I've seen
I want to be sedated. It was fucking
I've
terrible.
Seen this. Was Pearl Jam there?
Pearl Jam.
Your precious Pearl Jam? Yeah, I've seen this.
I believe my precious Pearl Jam, he says. Come on.
Joe, by the way, last night raving about Stone Temple Pilots #4.
It's a good album.
It's an album my diehard Stone Temple Pilot friends from high school used to squat over and shit on any chance they got.
It's a good album. It's the last good album they put out. The last two are terrible.
You like Sour Girl?
Yeah.
Sour Girl's
It's as good as Creep or any one of those fucking songs.
It isn't.
All right. Well, I like it. It sounds like a follow-up to Core. I like that. Look, here's my problem with Tiny Music.
I'll listen to it again.
Your precious fucking Tiny Music album.
Great album.
He sings like such a fucking pussy through the entire album. It's annoying. It's annoying that he does that voice where he's going, back at your car, I got it, ooh, I said I press play, baby. It sounds like Cartman. It's annoying.
Right.
It's
well, I think
annoying.
his voice is probably shredded from heroin use.
No, he's trying to do
some of the voice.
He's trying to do like a T-Rexy glam rock thing, and I like the glam rock aspect of that album, but I don't like the way he sings. And I like that on #4 he's back going, I got to share with a Sunday. I like that he's doing that again.
Right.
He's doing like Scott Weiland again.
Now, we can agree, though, that even though Anthony Kiedis is a bad rapper, he is perhaps our best rapper.
Anthony Kiedis?
Did I say rapper twice?
Yeah, you did.
God damn it.
Bad singer, perhaps our best rapper?
Perhaps our best rapper.
I'd only put him below the guy from Korn.
Fieldy? Jonathan Davis. Well, Korn makes the Chili Peppers look like the fucking Beatles. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Korn is and Limp Bizkit makes Korn look like the Stones.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's...
Red Hot Chili Peppers knew how to write a fucking catchy song. Don't get me wrong, but it's the stuff that ages particularly badly is like the...
It's terrible. I never liked it. When Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out and all my friends were like, this album's amazing, it's a game changer, I was like, no, it's not. It's white boy bullshit.
It is,
It's white guys mimicking black music in a shitty way.
Yeah.
Fuck this album. It sucks. Suck My Kiss is a pretty good tune.
One of my least favorite of theirs.
Give It Away, I don't give a shit. Under the Bridge, please let me never hear that song for the rest of my fucking days.
Yeah.
It's like Van Morrison shit. It's like, okay, they're fine songs. I never want to hear them though. Do you ever go out and go to a jukebox and go, I'm going to put in Moon Dance?
No, that's never happened. No. Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance. Well, that's all my parents fucking listened to was Van Morrison, so I've had my fill.
Well, and there are kids out there now. They're like, all my parents listen to are the Chili Peppers.
That's
Some
true.
poor bastard is sitting in his dad's house right now, and his dad's telling him the Chili Peppers are a great band. I was in a record store at Christmas time.
Okay.
The King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, which is the town next to where I grew up, and this was my mall growing up. It's one of the biggest malls in the country. It's a great mall.
We get it.
We went in. Pinkstone and his lovely wife Jess and I went in for on Christmas Eve. It's a tradition. We go there. It's the mall at Christmas. It's fun, and we just kind of window shop. And there, lo and behold, there's a record store now at the King of Prussia Plaza. I'm flipping out. Jim's flipping out. I'm like, do you realize we haven't seen a record store in here since Sam Goody?
Right.
Like, this is awesome. There's
vinyl or what?
Vinyl and CDs, but mostly vinyl, of course, because it's the
wow,
age
that's
we're in.
crazy.
Awesome store.
Yeah,
awesome. I got my favorite Sinatra album ever, which is the Sinatra and Antonio Carlos Jobim like bossa nova record. It's the most romantic record I've ever heard. I got a copy of it sealed. It's never been played. Original pressing. I got an original colored vinyl of Living Color Time's Up, which is my favorite Living Color album, sealed. It was a great store. I can't remember the name of it, of course, but it's a great store, and I will be back. But anyway, I'm in there, and it's real busy, and I'm like, this is great, man. These guys opened a record store. It's in this mall, which you wouldn't expect. It's busy. People are appreciating art. This is great. And then a guy next to me goes, I look over, he's holding Dave Matthews, Dave Matthews Band, Before These Crowded Streets on vinyl, which, look, it's not a terrible album, but it's not when you go, I got to go get that on vinyl.
One of my proudest things is that I avoided getting into that world. I was 17 and I was like, you guys are all fucking stupid.
And he's discussing with the
14,
clerk,
bro.
like, where can I get Crash on vinyl? And the clerk's like, I think we might have it at our other store. And I was like, I guess there's a guy out there that's like, I need to own Dave Matthews on vinyl.
Hey, ba 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 boo boo.
I'm at a real say.
The space between. Man, those are some shit songs.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people have told me, you just got to see them live. And maybe you do. Maybe I'd have a nice time.
No, you
but
don't.
I wouldn't.
It's the same thing they say about Phish and the Grateful Dead. I don't need to see
I hate 'em
longer
both.
versions of these songs.
That's right.
To get it.
Not to mention the crowds. Can you imagine the crowds?
Oh, God.
I got to tell you, the crowd at the Red Hot Chili Peppers show, I walked in, I was like, oh, I'm going to be beaten to death here.
I'm going to make a bet. I'm going to bet right now that the whitest place you could be on planet Earth is the finale show of the Phish run at Madison Square Garden. I don't think there's any whiter place on planet Earth that you could ever be.
Probably not.
Aside from the opening show of a Dave Matthews run.
Probably not.
At the San Francisco Fairgrounds.
They're playing, well, they have that one black guy in the band, though. So at least there's
Doesn't
one.
matter. It's still
I think
the
he
whitest
died.
experience. No, the one black guy did. The other black guy is the drummer. He's still in it.
Okay.
But the guy that played like violin
Sure.
or something like that died, or saxophone.
Yeah,
or
I don't
something.
need to see any band, any rock band with a fucking violin.
Or a saxophone.
Except the Magnetic Fields, who are incredible, but that's not rock music.
Anyway,
Elephant in the Room. I sneezed there, and there was no bless you.
when?
You didn't even notice, did you?
I didn't. I was real wrapped up in this discussion we were having.
Okay.
God bless you.
Wouldn't have hated a bless you, is all I'm
God
saying.
bless you.
Did you ever own a Dave Matthews album?
Yeah, I own the first famous one with ants marching.
What is the song Ants Marching?
Bow, 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 down,
Oh, God.
down, down, down. I had that
That's
cassette.
Hey, Bo, yeah.
I had that cassette my freshman year in college. I never bought another one. I do like, and I have it on my Apple Music, I do like the first song on the Crash album a lot. So Much to Say. I like that song a lot.
So much to say.
Yeah.
What's that
They
one
have
that's
songs
like,
here and there that I enjoy, but
how about What Would You Say?
that's the big that was the first big single.
God, that's a bad song. These are
And
all
then
bad songs.
Satellite.
Satellite's pretty. I'll give you Satellite.
My friend Dan insisted when we were in college
Crash is pretty.
that the lyrics were Samponine, and he would sing it to me.
Sample 9.
Yeah, he would do that when we were like high and drunk, and it was for some reason one of the funniest things that I've ever experienced.
Sure.
That was and then my friend Brian English, who was one of the funniest people I've ever known, used to insist. He used to rewrite all the lyrics to the System of a Down songs.
Well,
So for the one, the Wake Up. He said that it was
That's a cool song.
He was like, I love that song. He would go, wake up,
Chop Suey.
why'd you put the ketchup on the table? So he'd say that was like that, and then the song Toxicity, he would go, dude, what are you on the rag?
Yeah, that's funny.
And it would just fucking kill me. It would just kill me.
I used to, when I was super into Weird Al in grade school, like 9 years old, I would write parodies of the songs of the day. My biggest hit, of course, being Losing My Pet Pigeon.
Oh boy,
I was 9.
not bad.
9.
Not bad. You got a good.
If a
Dr.
9-year-old walked
Giggles
in here
at
now,
that
you'd
age.
be like, "Hey, buddy." That's how young I was.
That's good.
All right, let's get to this movie corner.
I only have one for this week.
I want to talk, folks, about a movie I saw last night that I think is a fucking masterpiece. And I guess I probably saw it years and years. I must have seen it. I know I saw it. But it was like watching it for the first time. Owning Mahoney. Phil Seymour Hoff. Are you looking for it? Oh, you're just off mic. Okay. I thought it was a goddamn masterpiece. And the best movie about gambling ever made. People just, it's a Rounders or whatever. Rounders is one of the most unrealistic movies about gambling ever made.
Yeah, it's a fun
almost made
performances.
by people who don't understand the game.
Also, too, I mean, look, I love Malkovich, but Jesus Christ, he's absurd in Rounders.
He's absurd.
It's absurd after a while.
Have you seen Owning Mahoney, Joe?
No, I just heard it's so sad that I was like, I don't know if I can take it.
Oh my God! I mean, it's depressing as hell. But it's the only true. I think it got me off gambling. I've had a tremendous amount of luck with gambling, but I recognize in myself the potential to be a gambling addict.
To be a Mahoney.
I tell you, well, it's one of Phil Seymour Hoffman's best performances. His girlfriend is Minnie Driver, which she's great in it as well.
That's weird. She's in Rounders too, isn't she?
She is in Rounders too.
Yeah. I mean the sequel to Rounders, Rounders 2.
They've talked about making a sequel to Rounders.
About what? What would it even be about?
They're playing poker, but they're older now. Anyway, if you haven't seen Owning Mahoney, it is certainly depressing, and I don't know if it's going to appeal to somebody who's not as into gambling as I am. I was blown away to the extent that I looked up the screenwriter. The man's never done anything since. I looked up the director, never done anything since. And I looked it up. It had a $10 million budget. It made less than $1 million. So those guys
Sure.
are out of the business. But they made a fucking incredible movie. It's so good. And I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. Watch the movie if you haven't seen it. It's a fantastic movie.
My only one for this week is a little miniseries called The Langoliers.
Wow.
Stephen King's The Langoliers.
You watched all 4 hours of this thing?
I watched all 4 hours.
I saw it on TV back in the day when I was a kid.
I bought a 3-pack at Walmart when I was home over Christmas. It's The Stand.
Don't give Walmart money.
Why?
Read an article.
I've read it. I know. Is there any store that's not? Your iPhone was made in a sweatshop. It's like, what are you going to do?
Almost any store other than Walmart is going to be better for this country than Walmart.
Walmart employs a lot of people.
Joe, I can't get into this with you.
Well, well, tell me, school me on this. Why? Well, it is true.
They're in the news right now.
What do they do now?
I almost sent you this article because I was like, look at fucking America.
Tell me what they did so I know.
Well, tons of these great employees that you speak of who make less than they would at any other store. No health benefits, by the way. They show up to their job and there's a closed sign on the store. They didn't tell anyone. Oof. They were closing it.
All right. You're making some good points.
Stuff happens all the time. But Walmart's business mission statement is move into an area where there's lots of small businesses doing well and crush them. That's their model.
Okay.
That's what they've been doing
all right.
for
You
years.
Convinced me. I won't buy anything at Walmart anymore.
Please don't. I mean, I could talk for hours about Walmart. Especially in Missouri. I've never seen a Walmart in California.
Maybe that's a second podcast.
Fuck Walmart.
Listen, I
don't shop there, guys.
All right. Sorry, holier than thou.
That was to the guys. That wasn't to you.
I was at Target, okay, and I bought this 3-pack of TV. It was The Stand, The Langoliers, and The Golden Years. Golden Years I haven't watched yet.
I remember watching it when I was a kid. Don't remember anything about it.
Well, you might ask, why, Joe? Why did you watch the first two and not the third thing? Because, guys, The Langoliers, this pains me to say, because Tom Holland directed it, and I love Tom Holland. It was so fucking bad. It also stars Bronson Pinchot. There's 2 reasons for me to like this movie. Right out of the gate.
Comedic role or no?
No.
Okay.
He plays the bad guy, actually. And this, it starts fairly interesting. The premise is, these people pass out on the plane. They wake up, and they're in an alternate reality. Everybody else has disappeared. They don't know what's going on. It's interesting. But, I mean, my God almighty, this thing just drags and drags and drags. It's not very well acted. It's not visually pleasing, and it came out at that time when special effects on made-for-TV movies were just unacceptable. Like, it's got like CGI monsters that come that are the Langoliers, and like it just looks so ridiculous that you can't care. It's just terrible special effects. But I sat through it. Not a good King adaptation, and not one. Quite frankly, not one I think they should have even made. I don't get why they picked this story as to do a mini series. It's just not a good. It's not a good enough story. It's an interesting idea.
It's a short story, right?
I believe so.
You seen Tommy Knockers?
No, I've never seen the Tommy Knockers.
I haven't either.
But I will watch Golden Years eventually. But the Langoliers left such a stain on me. I was like, I got to give this set a break. And one of the fans actually wrote to me and said, why don't you do the Langoliers? Somebody that you love from Perfect Strangers in it. Coincidentally, I got that just as I was watching this. So yeah, it's not great.
All right. Did you like the Stand miniseries?
It's okay.
I remember liking it.
It's good enough. I like it.
Yeah.
The story doesn't... There's nothing wrong with the miniseries. I just don't find that story very captivating. Like, I've never been a big post-apocalyptic guy.
Sure.
So, like... But for that story, it's good. It's well done.
You know what Bronson Pinchot is great in is Risky Business.
Who's he play?
Plays Tom Cruise's nerd friend.
He's great in True Romance.
He is great in True Romance.
Yeah.
But, like... I assume Risky Business would have been one of his first things. He just like plays such a realistic like high school nerd in no glasses, no tape on pocket protector and all that shit. He's great in it. And what I was really blown away by with Risky Business, which became one of my favorite movies. I had seen it 20 years ago, but Tom Cruise, like I don't know if there's ever been a better performance from Cruise, and he's like 20.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's so great in that movie, and he's kind of playing a dork, which is weird.
He's a great actor, man. You know, we can all say what we will about the Scientology stuff.
Well,
he's just
could, but
he's a great actor. The guy was meant to be a movie star.
And your favorite, Miss Rebecca De Mornay, completely nude.
She's not my favorite, but I'll take it.
On one of the early episodes of the show, you talked about how you dreamed of starting a life with Rebecca De Mornay.
I don't think that's true.
Well, we can go to the audio tape.
Let's go to the fans. Guys, if you know what Pat's talking about, send us the transcription. I don't remember
They will
saying
know
that.
because I think they've talked about it in the thing. But
I mean, she's a hot lady. I wouldn't say she's my favorite.
You had looked up to see who she was married to. It got pretty deep, so you must have.
Oh yeah, no, I do remember doing that because she's in the Stand made-for-TV movie. I mean the Shining made-for-TV movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was like, what happened to this lady?
Well, she's fucking great in Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I know that much.
Yeah,
and she's fucking great in Risky Business. I was blown away by Risky Business. I saw some. I'm going to just only watch older movies from now on. I think
it's a good movie.
They're better.
Well, yeah.
Couple quick picks. Trapped in Paradise. Do you want to talk about an old movie that is not good?
Dana Carvey movie?
You know, I was buying up some Christmas movies at $1 a pop on Amazon, and I was like, I don't know if I ever saw this. Carvey, Nicolas Cage, and John Lovitz.
Not good.
It's awful. It was a huge box office bomb. But, folks, I bought it for $3. It went out of print 2 weeks later, and I sold it for $60. I felt real good about that. But the movie is unwatchable. It's terrible. Don't check it out. I saw Donald Cried, which is streaming on Netflix. Great movie in the Chuck and Buck vein.
Okay.
Guy goes home, reconnects with an old friend. He's very strange. It's an uncomfortable comedy. I liked it quite a bit. I recommend it. Get Me Roger Stone, documentary about Trump's kind of key advisor.
Yep.
Fascinating look at what is going on in American politics and how they pulled off this win. And it's so frustrating because their whole strategy is let's do things on the absolute line of legality.
Right.
And it completely worked. You watch it and you're like, as much as I hate everything this man stands for, he's a genius.
Okay.
It's depressing as well, but I urge you to check it out. Valerian. Lost Planet.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Facebook page referred to it as his favorite movie of the year.
Uh-huh.
Folks, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Looked terrible.
Absolutely terrible.
It looked terrible. And they keep giving that kid shots.
They keep giving the kid shots. Well, I guess Luc Besson finally came back with that Lucy movie, but they keep giving Besson shots. I mean,
Jesus Christ. It's like that kid's, they were like, he's going to star in movies now. It's like, why?
That lead couple in this movie, I mean, I almost don't remember watching it. I watched it 3 weeks ago. That's all I want to say about Valerian. Don't watch it. Don't know if I talked about Coco on here. Beautiful movie. Beautiful Pixar movie. I don't like cartoons. Meyerowitz Stories. Sandler.
You talked about that already.
Saw it. Out. Hounds of Love. We going to do that on this show or not?
I don't know, but why don't we cool it on the movie corner? Because you're barreling, and I don't know. I'm getting confused as to which you've definitely mentioned some of these.
That's why I'm checking them off.
I don't remember if we did this one or not.
But do you want to do Hounds of Love on the show? Is what I'm saying.
I don't know what Hounds of Love is.
I've never talked about it, but I did text you about it. Should we do it for the show? It's a sick horror movie that's on Hulu.
Oh no, then let's do it for the show.
All right.
Folks,
if you got Hulu, watch Hounds of Love. It's also very disturbing, but we'll do that in the near future.
Is it about dogs or something?
No. It's about a couple in Australia who kidnaps and tortures young girls.
No, let's not do that on the show. I need a little breath from torturing. And...
All right. Well, that'll be my last one then. Did you
like it?
I absolutely loved it, and the guy that directed it will be directing, I'd like to say, great movies in the next few years, but let's be real, he'll be directing fucking Marvel movies in the next few years, because that's the career path now for people with vision and talent. Hounds of Love is based on a sad, true story about a husband and wife in Australia who would drive around. Because the wife was in the car, they're like, yeah, I'll take a ride, you know.
Ugh.
Bring them back to the house. They tie them to the bed. The husband, they seem to have an arrangement where if you're going to do something to her, we both got to be there. But the husband keeps kind of slipping in on his own.
Right.
You don't see anything. I want to make that clear because this movie will be very triggering for some. It is very upsetting. But they don't show you stuff really. And while it is very disturbing, I would put it on a par with like our movie from last week, Raw. It's very unsettling, very disturbing. But at the end, you're just like, God damn. Like, it's very exciting, very suspenseful.
All right.
And for some reason, it's on fucking Hulu, which Hulu I always view as being like a family place.
No, they throw some weird shit on there.
It was a very depraved and excellent movie. And as far as from a directing standpoint, I think really an interesting movie.
All right. Well, I'll check it out after I haven't seen so many like eating flesh and torture things recently.
Sure.
I don't have a scary stuff for this week, unless you do.
No.
Let's get into our topic. Black Mirror, Season 4, Episodes 1 through 3.
Let's go through them one by one. The first one, most people know as basically the Star Trek one with Jesse Plemons, also known as Fat Damon.
I mean, and now he goes shirtless in this thing.
But he makes them shoot him from like 30 miles away.
Yeah, but you do see that the man is a chubby man, and you see him in briefs at his fattest in the Fargo show, and I mean, the guy's like... He's going out with one of the most beautiful women that's ever walked the earth.
They're married, and he's impregnated her. To me, there's no one more attractive than Dunst, and I admire the man. I saw him making out at a drunk history party.
I admire her for not being all about, for being about a normal dude. He's a great actor.
Look, not everybody goes just by looks,
Yeah, but you do, and you've said it repeatedly.
It's not true. Well, maybe. No, it's not true. This one is called USS Callister, Season 4, Episode 1. So, yeah, Jesse Plemons plays basically a kind of disturbed VR designer who creates sort of a fantasy world where he's basically the captain of the ship of his favorite Star Trek-like show. Mm-hmm. And in doing so, winds up kind of like trying to control and dominate the people in the thing, including Mr. McPoyle from Always Sunny.
He was great in it.
And also Westworld, of course, Jimmy Simpson. Mm-hmm. And Christina Milioti, who I really like.
She was great.
From Wolf of Wall Street and many other things.
Who's she playing Wolf of Wall Street?
DiCaprio's first wife.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's great. I thought this episode was fantastic. I thought this was as good as Black Mirror does their thing.
Nearly a feature film, really. I liked it a lot.
It just had all the elements that I like about Black Mirror. Some of these other episodes had the elements I don't like about Black Mirror. But this one hit it. It was fun. There was a twist. There was a social commentary. I like that in the beginning you think Plemons is the good guy, then you realize he's the bad guy.
Right.
I like the reveal that these people that he's duplicating in a virtual setting actually have consciousness in the other setting, and that's what makes him sadistic, and you realize that's really what he's all about. It's got a chilling ending.
Yeah.
It was funny. They did really funny stuff with... Like when he pauses the game and leaves to get the pizza at the door, everybody else is just there in the world, like talking, like
right.
Like they're at the water cooler at work. I just thought it was great, and I also think it's always best on Black Mirror when they do slight near future, and this was exactly that.
Right.
So I thought it was just very, very well done. I liked the whole episode. It was my favorite so far this season.
It's the first one, Joe.
Out of the 3 I've seen, okay. It's my favorite so far this season.
All right. I thought you were like the guy who called the show LA to Vegas the other day the worst show of the year. It premiered like January 3rd.
I hear it's...
do you think?
I hear repeatedly that it's terrible.
Well, the man who made it is a friend, very nice man.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry to hear
I thought
that.
the pilot was funny, and I have not seen any future episodes, so I don't know what to tell you.
Look, I got nothing against your friend, so don't put words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I got something else I'd like to put in your mouth, folks.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think we're both big fans. I'm going to go B+ on this one.
Hogs up?
2 hogs up. Please don't start doing that. Episode 2, Archangel, I thought was a pretty dismal affair. Directed by Miss Jodie Foster. My issue with this thing really was the 2 leads. The woman, what is her name? Rosemary?
I can't remember.
Fuck. I liked her in almost everything, and I just didn't in this. And I thought the girl who played her daughter was particularly not great. I'm sorry. Rosemary DeWitt.
Yes.
I get it, you know, parents being kind of overprotective, and there were certain moments like where she's watching her daughter get fucked, basically, where I'm like, okay, this is disturbing.
Well, if you haven't seen it, the premise is they put a chip in her daughter's head when she's very young, and it's basically a way that you can track your kids, never lose them. Like most Black Mirror things, it starts out as this sort of promising technology, ends up going to a darker place, as they always do. And one of the things she can do with this technology is she can literally see what her daughter's seeing.
Yeah.
So she stops using it at some point because it's basically fucked her daughter up because it allows her to block traumatic visuals from her daughter. So her daughter as a child gets to this point where she doesn't understand what blood is, like, you know, like she doesn't know anything because this has all been blocked through this filter. She shuts it off, promises to never use it again. But then when her daughter starts getting into a little bit of fun trouble in high school, she starts monitoring her daughter with it again because you can never remove the chip. And that's why she sees the daughter now at 17 or whatever having sex for the first time. Or
even you explaining it, it sounds good. Like, that sounds like a great science fiction short story. But for me, really, this was a performance issue. I didn't like either of the actresses. I don't know what to tell you, but I was bored by it beyond belief, and I wanted it to be over. And then when it ended, I was like, eh.
It was a very... Now, this is what I was saying about earlier. This is where I start to not like things that Black Mirror does. Great premise, great commentary. I didn't mind I thought the actors were all very good in it, and I also thought that it was well directed because it's Jodie Foster. But
Jodie Foster,
so
the baker.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but I liked all those elements of it, but it did things that Black Mirror tends to do. Everything is interconnected somehow. It's way all up its own ass. Like, this storyline exists because this seed was planted there at the beginning. It doesn't have to be all that, guys. You could have did this thing in 28 minutes flat, Twilight Zone style.
I always think Black Mirrors should be Twilight Zone style.
Yeah.
I think they'd all be so much more effective at a half hour. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, so... and the ending, quite frankly, it wasn't enough of a payoff for me. It wasn't dark enough. It wasn't chilling enough. It was just the daughter runs away and the mom finally really loses the daughter, which is what she's trying to prevent the whole time. And I'm like, I understand that point or that, you know, what they're doing, but it was just kind of a boring ending to a movie about some crazy technological advancement.
Right.
Just seeing this daughter just get on a public bus at the end and leaving. You're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, Black Mirror as a whole, it's a show that I love, while when I really look harder at the seasons, I'm like, oh wait, half of these kind of suck. But I love thematically what they're doing, and I just love that something like it exists, really. You haven't seen other seasons, really, have you?
I've seen them, yeah. People find it scary, which I don't understand. Like, I know people that are like, I can't watch it before bed.
Wow.
It keeps me awake. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Never even been mildly scared by a Black Mirror. And then the third one...
Least favorite. Could barely get through this fucking thing. It was so boring.
I got to tell you, for whatever reason, this was my favorite of the three. Crocodile.
Dundee, right?
Yes. That might have been my mistake. I accidentally watched Crocodile Dundee.
Not a lot of stuff about science, but really funny.
Well, I learned what a knife was and what a knife wasn't, I'll tell you that. I thought that Crocodile was fantastic. I thought the actress, who I had never seen before, was a real villain, like rough stuff. And I just loved it. Would this have been better at a half hour? Absolutely. But the whole technology of like smelling the beer and all that to recreate memories... for whatever reason, I got into it, and the ruthlessness of this woman going through and killing anyone who might fuck her life up, and then that final reveal of the guinea pig at the end, and you know the guinea pig's gonna find her out, and she killed a baby for no reason. For some reason, that's the kind of like dark shit that I love when Black Mirror does. I was like, shit.
Oh, look, I like those elements of it, that it was ballsy and it was dark, but I didn't buy for a second that the woman at the scene of the hit and run at the top of the episode, who's insisting they call the authorities and report this.
Right.
And then her boyfriend is the one being like, you can't, I'll go to prison. We're not mentioning this. And then 2 years later, when he comes back and goes, can't live with the guilt or whatever, I've got to confess, that she then is suddenly able to kill in cold blood. I didn't buy that. And I also didn't buy that there wasn't a simpler solution, which was, okay, remember when I wanted to turn you in because you did this? So go turn yourself in. Just leave me out of it. Problem solved.
Well,
why does she have to get drug into it? No, there's no way to prove she was there. Just go say that you fucking did it. Fine. I don't give a shit. Just leave me out of it.
I hadn't thought of that. That would have worked. But it's not what happened here.
The stakes just weren't high enough for me. I didn't care. There was too much procedural content about how, even though it was cool that the insurance company had this advanced thing they could do, the scene still felt like I was watching a movie about an insurance agent in the 80s or something. Sure. Like, I really, really found it fucking boring.
Okay.
I was also, quite frankly, insulted for English people that, Netflix is like, we're going to do Black Mirror now. Suddenly, the first 2 episodes that are the big lead-off ones, all American casts.
Oh, yeah.
And then they toss all the English actors into the third, mildly forgettable episode.
Yeah. Have you seen the additional 3 in the...
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll do those as a second part.
Yeah.
But it's weird. The show was like such a crazy phenomenon, and then I haven't heard as much about this season. But I thought it was as strong as the others. It had good and bad.
No, it's a good show. I mean, overall, it's good. They just need to tighten it up.
I agree. I think they should all be a half hour. Absolutely.
Anyway, folks, that's our show. I'll be headlining Gotham Comedy Club the weekend of February 16th, and after that I'll be doing the Patrice O'Neill benefit in New York City. So if you're in New York for either of those things, please come out and say hello. And it's Joe DeRosa Comedy on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm at the Patrick Walsh at Twitter and Instagram. Thank you all for your feedback, tweets, Facebook posts, etc. I don't know if you've been to the Facebook page, run by Emily, of course, but merch is coming. A lot of merch is coming. Posters, beautiful artwork, etc. We're very excited, and the launch is close at hand. Also, a quick shout-out to the gentleman making Funko versions of me and Joe, little Funko figurines. It's one of the coolest things I've seen. Maybe because it involves me, but let me look up the guy's name.
I believe it's Brendan Gash doing that.
Well, I want to look up his handle.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. Those are awesome.
Oh, yeah, so it's just Brandon.Gash.
Brandon Gash, sorry.
Really, really cool shit. Thank you for doing that. And something that somehow I had missed, we have an Instagram page called See You in Hell Pod that I don't think we've ever mentioned on this show. I didn't know we had an Instagram page.
It's new. I believe Emily started it, so follow us there for updates about merch and all that stuff.
Yes, just all one word, See You in Hell Pod. Check it out. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you in hell.
That was a HeadGum podcast.